James. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lucas. The reason I'm here today is because back in April 2020, I set up my first business. Now, unfortunately for me, that means that my business has never seen the outside of lockdown. So as you can imagine, like the rest of us, I absolutely despise COVID. But this pandemic has uprooted our lives, driving business bankrupt, forced us to change, and definitely isn't doing my already very poor social life any favors. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. This pandemic does have a positive side to it. Now, I'm not talking about the positive COVID tests. I'm actually talking about how it's forced us to evolve. Now, as James has said, there's a whole evolution of new businesses coming to light. Now, before I go any further, if you hear any squeals or it sounds like someone's suffering in the background, that'd be my girlfriend. She has a PhD in genetics and about 4 other degrees I can't pronounce the name of. So she might have something to say about my analogy. But here it goes. So just like humans, businesses have been around for many, many thousands of years, although maybe not always in the same way we think of businesses today. I'm talking fishers trading fish for silver coins or bread. But just like humans, businesses evolve. Over time, businesses grow, they change and they adapt. In the past, I'm talking back when our fisher was alive, this happened very slowly. Businesses were passed down from generation to generation with fairly little change or opportunity for growth. But just like humans, the rules of survival of the fittest apply. Those that are too slow to react to change are the ones that get taken down first. Take Nokia, for example, a corporate superpower sporting a market cap of $250 billion back in the year 2000, now worth only $19 billion. The reason for this is it didn't change and it didn't adapt to new trends like the release of the smartphone, for example. I've probably scraped up some lost memories here, haven't I? I can almost certainly say the name hasn't been mentioned for a while. A very, very well-known company, now forgotten by current generations and unheard of by new generations. Mount Toba, a massive volcano, erupted 50,000 years ago back in the day, plunging this earth into an ice age, causing an evolutionary bottleneck, leaving only 10,000 people alive. These survivors were the fittest, the strongest, and the smartest. They were the best at adapting to new climates. This same thing is happening today in the business world, not only with the revolution of technology, but also the forced shift to a virtual world. Just like our fisherman was replaced by a skipper and a crew of a fishing trawler, sales assistants are replaced by delivery drivers. Job roles are adapting, and different people with new roles are taking over old jobs. Due to this shift, consumer word of mouth no longer has the same effect it once did. Influencers are the new word of mouth and have already made a massive dent in the East, with influencers having a huge sway in the credibility of a product, almost like ratings and reviews on Google. Now, from a perspective of an influencer, in such a saturated market, it's extremely difficult to emerge out of the crowd. While using the right hashtags and creating quality content always helps, the best way to make your name heard is by collaborating with other influencers, collaborating and working together to create content, becoming instantly visible to a whole new audience when someone mentions your name on a post. Now, back in 2018, I managed to break a world record. I became the youngest person to ever row across the Atlantic Ocean, solo and unassisted. Now, to achieve this, I needed several sponsors to supply funds and expensive kit needed. It wasn't easy, and especially as I didn't have a social media following. A social following has such a huge value these days as a person and also as a company. It provides the person or company with credibility and status. The client needed to sell a product, or in my case, to get sponsorship. When I started this challenge, as I said, I didn't really have much of a following, and the growth process was very, very slow and tiring. Reaching out to people to collaborate was just a very lengthy process. And I'm no social media influencers. I still have dozens of unread messages, and the same goes for those that actually have a large following. It's impossible to get in contact with them. You just get lost in personal messages and fan mail. And that's where Zepta comes into play, my new app. It's a networking platform for influencers. You sign in with Instagram, and you're asked a few questions about what kind of content you post on your account. Are you an athlete, an artist, or a musician maybe? That's where then you write a little bio about how you'd like to collaborate with and network with the people you connect with. Then, based on the following size and location, you're shown a list of profiles with a similar criteria as your account. And from this point, it's as simple as one click to connect, and boom, you have yourself a fellow influencer to collaborate with. And using these connections, you can then grow grow your following in a much faster and more enjoyable way as well. That's it from me. And I'm open to any questions, so fire away.